Do you think we have it bad in the US? Well, in the UK, they have rampant crime similar to the US. From what I've seen, Muslims are taking over the country, lots of protests, lots of disarray in the streets. They are arresting people for social media posts, so no free speech. Inflation is running rampant, partially due to the Ukraine war. People cannot afford rent and food. They are in a tough spot. One glimmer of hope is the UK Supreme Court figured out what a woman is.
In the matter of a landmark ruling from the British Supreme Court setting out how women are defined in law.
The unanimous decision of this court is that the terms woman and sex in the Equality Act 2010 refer to a biological woman and biological sex.
So, two things. One, you go 10, 20 years in the future, they're going to look back at this time in the world on how crazy and ridiculous and stupid we were. And second, it is crazy to think that people were worried that some of these Supreme Courts in the Western world are not going to be able to figure out what a woman is.
In other words, sex is assigned at birth, and trans women, including those who've undergone gender reassignment, are not legally considered women. Activist Jane Fay, director of Transactual UK, is devastated.
Because effectively what this decision does is exclude trans people from society.
But outside
You guys, there's some really, really good documentaries you can look up on YouTube. You can just Google about the trans activist money flow, who it started with. Very disturbing, very sad. This makes me happy to see people, especially women, outside celebrating this decision, celebrating common sense.
the court, cheers from supporters of the decision, including from one of the activists who led the campaign.
This is not about prejudice or bigotry, as some people would say. It's just about saying that there are differences, and biology is one of those differences.
In its ruling, the UK Supreme Court stressed that this legal definition does not strip trans rights, as they would still be protected by anti-discrimination law.
If it wasn't going to stop here, then next would be, can people be cats? Can they be dogs? I heard people want to be turtles now. It's just more and more mentally ill people that powerful people feel sad for and feel like they need a platform and feel like they need extra rights. Just shenanigans on top of shenanigans.
But the decision could affect policy decisions related to participation in sports, the military, and female-only spaces, among other areas.
It's going to take a generation to bring us back. I will be gone before we see happier times here.
Both critics and supporters of the ruling drawing parallels with President Trump's legislation regarding transgender Americans.
Everything in the world rises and falls with leadership. Whether you think Trump is a good leader or not, this is the common sense decision that everyone will look back on and be like, how was this even debated?
Are only two genders, male and female.
The Trump administration, which has banned trans students from competing in girls' sports, today suing the state of Maine for failing to comply with that executive order. In the UK,
and there's an update on that just same time as this story dropped. They are, it looks like they're going to sue Minnesota too, because Minnesota is refusing to comply and wants to keep men and women's sports and wants to continue to not protect the girls and females in sports and allow them to compete, dominate, injure, go in the bathrooms, go in the locker rooms, just total craziness.
the legal battle that ended today at the highest court started when the Scottish Parliament passed a 2018 law requiring public boards to be composed of 50% men and 50% women, including trans women in the definition of women, something the campaigners opposed. One of the highest profile supporters of the campaign, Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling, took to X to celebrate the ruling. They've protected the rights of women and girls across the UK I'm so proud to know you, continuing to tweet for hours as reactions rolled in. And Ellison, this ruling is clearly welcomed by some, but it still leaves some tricky questions unanswered. For example, if trans people are excluded from single-sex spaces, does it mean that they'll be asked to use, say, the restroom or the changing room of their former gender? Another
Oh my gosh, you might have to use the bathroom you're supposed to use. It's so crazy.
question might be, well, if women are now defined as women only by birth, does it mean that trans women are now considered male? So this ruling clearly defines the term, but its implication will have to be worked out over time. Ellison?
Alagarani in London. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories.
What do you guys think? Is this common sense? Is this going to be looked at as crazy times, or am I wrong? You know, do we need to continue to let people in society who are mentally ill dominate the narrative, get extra money, run deficits in healthcare? What do you guys think?